Now, water security remains a growing concern in the country, particularly in the light of an ever-growing global population. Many things attribute to the growing water crisis in South Africa as well. Climate change has affected water supplies, and so has poor infrastructure. Let's discuss this further with Mike Muller, Adjunct Professor at Wits University. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So you say we should actually already start worrying about water supplies after good summer rains and the dams are full. Might sound a bit odd to some people, right? So tell us why.
You know, Shahan, if the dams are full and everyone says we've got enough water, but the dams fill up every year. It's rather like your bank account at the end of each month, if you're lucky. Your employer pays you, you draw down the money, and towards the end of the month you begin to worry, is there enough? Dams are exactly the same. It rains, we fill them up, and then the water flows out rather faster than we might want. And what we need to be worrying about is whether we have enough in store to see us through the winter, because if you're in the Highveld like we are here in Johannesburg, we know that for 6 months there's not going to be any rain, so we'd better have enough stored. And part of the problem is when we think that the storage is full, we say that's enough. But actually, when you think about it, if you only get paid half your salary, will that be enough? No, it won't. You'll want to increase your salary. And the same with water. Do we have enough water in those dams to see us through the dry 6 months that we're now looking forward to here in the Highveld?
Yeah, it makes total sense once I hear you say explain why. So Nelson Mandela Bay, you also say, was advised for more than a decade, actually, that its supply infrastructure was inadequate and it did not act. The consequences evident now.
Well, exactly. You know, the people in the water sector, you know, I used to work in the Department of Water and I still get very involved in it. We've known for 10, 15 years that the water supply for what was then Port Elizabeth and the surrounding areas, now Gqeberha and Nelson Mandela Bay, we knew that there was not enough water stored there to see them through what would happen if there was a drought. And we always have droughts. So they've been told, as I say, 15 years ago, and then they'd agreed 10 years ago that they needed to do something to increase the amount of water that was available. But they just delayed and delayed and delayed, and then the drought came, and then they found that there wasn't enough water in storage to meet their needs. That's why at the moment the dams are sitting at 12%. They're all panicking about day zero, but the day zero was the result of not doing what they should have done 10 years ago.
So is there anything that can be done now to avoid day zero?
Well, Nelson Mandela Bay will scrape through. They're lucky. They've got a connection to the Orange River. They'll never run out of water. They just won't have enough to go around. They'll have to do perhaps like Cape Town did, and everyone's going to have to stand in a bucket to shower. But the point is that yesterday the Minister of Water and Sanitation, in her budget speech, she listed about 15 dam projects that are going to be built. The trouble is a lot of those dam projects were supposed to have been finished already, like the Lesotho Highlands project should have been finished last year. They've only just started going out looking for contractors, going out to tender to build it. It won't be ready till 2027. So it's no good saying we will build a dam when we run out of water. The time to build, the time to prepare is when you've got enough. And then you make sure that if there's a drought in the next 4 or 5 years, you've prepared for that drought. And I'm afraid South Africa is increasingly falling behind. So at the last count, I think 6 of the 8 metros are regarded as high risk. They're going to have to really restrict their water supplies if there's a major drought. And we expect droughts. It's not about climate change. It's cold weather. It's what happens regularly in South Africa. We need to prepare for it. And quite often we haven't. We've left it far too late. Ask the people in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Yeah, definitely the case. Thank you so much for your input. Appreciate it, Mike Muller.